to the Mattson Shooting Academy podcast. If you're a clay target shooter, then we have what you're looking for. Speaking with some of the best in the industry about the game you're passionate about. Subscribe to the Clay Lab on YouTube and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or your favorite podcast platform. The Mattson Shooting Academy podcast is brought to you by Castellani USA, Greenwood Custom Stocks, and Ranger Eyewear. Here's your host, Cody Mattson of Mattson Shooting Academy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Mattson Shooting Academy podcast. I'm very excited about the guest I have on this evening. I met him at Orvis and Santa Nona. I have Joseph Carey on, the 2004 national champ. Joe, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Cody?
Man, I'm doing good. I am so excited that you've taken the time to sit down and chat with me this evening, and really looking forward to letting the folks know who you are.
Thanks for having me, Cody.
Absolutely. So, Joe, we were coaching at Orvis for the Shotgun Classic, and we'd actually done it 2 years, but this was the first year that I really got. We were staying at the same hotel and got to chat with you over breakfast and stuff. But really fascinates me that your third time ever to the Nationals, you won it. That's just mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it was something special.
Absolutely, had to be.
Yeah.
So let's give everybody your backstory, what got you into it, your career, all of those good things. So where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey. Yeah.
So New Jersey's always been home for you.
Yeah, always home.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you get your start in shooting?
Well, like all of us, when I was 5 years old, I got a Red Ryder.
There you go. So that kicked it off. Yeah,
Kicked it off.
I still have mine proudly in the gun safe. So yeah, I think the Red Ryder really sparked a lot of our interest.
And my dad was a big hunter, and we started small game hunting when we were 10 years old.
Okay.
And believe it or not, New Jersey was very good small game hunting: quail, pheasant, rabbit, lots of it.
Oh, wow, I could see the pheasant and rabbit, but the quail kind of shocks me.
Oh no, it was amazing. It was amazing hunting when I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like everything else, do you feel like just development and everything is, result in the decline?
That's, believe it or not, what got me into clay shooting. Small game disappeared. So we went to the local range, started shooting wobble skeet, me and my two brothers. And that's what we got into sport, started to get shooting clay targets.
Wow. Wobble skeet.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one to enter the sport on.
Shooting 870.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started with, I guess my first actual 12 gauge shotgun was an 870 Wingmaster, and
There you go.
yeah,
That's the gun. Yep.
tried and true, right? And he got pretty good. I know I could shuck that thing pretty fast.
I was breaking 25s with it.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I was real good with it. Me and my brothers.
Yeah,
And it's funny, the old guy at the range goes, wait till you guys get a real gun. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, but watching somebody shoot a pump gun, I mean, they're just side events now. But man, if you're accustomed to it, you can really hardly skip a beat with those.
Oh, yes. We used to small game hunt one. Oh, yeah. You could chuck the shells.
No doubt.
Just as fast as an auto.
So after the wild game population was kind of on the decline, you still had the itch to shoot. So what club would you shoot wobble skeet at?
It was Englishtown Range. It was just a little mom and pop's place. They used to shoot skeet there. They went to wobble skeet. When I started, international skeet was just dying out where we were at. So guys were doing the wobble skeet.
Okay. Yeah. The international skeet, boy, that's hats off to those guys and gals that can do that. Wow.
I won a New Jersey State Championship doing that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's cool. What year was that?
Probably around 2000, 99 maybe.
Okay.
Not sure. But that's an inch up to 3 second delay, and that bird is fast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then coming from that ISSF line way down low like that, boy, you got to snap that gun up.
It's funny, the old guys at my range, they used to shoot skeet. They do it from the hip and break 23s, 24s, like it was nothing. And it's just, it boggled me when I was starting to shoot. I was like, look at these guys. It's amazing.
It is cool. I mean, to see somebody at that level, I mean, think of the thousands of rounds that they shot, just
Yeah.
to get that proficient where they
Yep.
got bored with it from the shoulder because it was too
Shoulder.
easy.
Yep. Too easy. Correct.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow. So now
Yeah.
at that time for international skeet, were you still shooting the 870 or did you switch guns at that
I
point?
switched to, I believe, a Browning over and under.
Okay. Like a Satori or something? Yeah.
Yeah. One of those guns, cheap, affordable ones.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Then I
kind of
went,
seems like the
yeah.
natural progression, a pump gun to a Browning over and under.
Then you realize the kick shield's too much, and I went to an auto.
And so what auto did you go with at that time? What was popular?
I say 2000. I was shooting a 390
Great gun.
Beretta.
Yeah, they were fantastic.
My brother wanted that from the local shoot, so I took it out of the box, started shooting it.
That's cool. So your brother shot with you as well?
My brother Ray and my brother Jim.
Okay. So it was a family affair.
It was. There was three of us. Back then, there weren't many instructors. So you had to teach yourself how to shoot. So we taught each other how to shoot.
And I feel like folks that are self-taught, I mean, obviously you encounter struggles and everything, but I think when you come out the other end of that, you probably had a deeper understanding of the process and everything, for having to figure it out on your own.
Well, there weren't many instructors around. It was a new game back then.
Mm-hmm.
There were no experienced sporting clay shooters, really. There were good ones, but who was teaching them? Everybody taught themselves, basically.
Yeah.
And you read the book, how to do it, the sustain lead, pull through, all that. And you just tried to practice it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we do live in a current time and age where there's so much information, shared and available at your fingertips. I mean,
Yeah.
I really attribute that to a lot of the young people's success now, right? I mean, we've got so many qualified coaches and everything, just cranking out fantastic shooters.
These young kids are amazing.
It's so fun to watch. And
I know.
so going back to so what had you bridge the gap from skeet to sporting? Like what did the game just come up locally or?
Some old guy at the range, he goes, "You guys go try sporting clays." And we were like, "What is that?" And they said, "There's a place down South Jersey, M&M Sporting Clays."
All right, everybody, we will be right back after a short sponsored segment. Are you missing clays and wondering why? ShotCam can help. It's a lightweight camera that attaches under your barrel to record every shot, with a red dot showing where the barrel is pointed at the moment of truth. Just turn it on and it automatically saves to your phone. Instantly replay the videos on your phone, and they are crisp and clear enough to see the pellets. This is a tool that I use on lessons to help my students understand more deeply what move they're applying to that target. I recommend it for my students to practice with. They're able to go see exactly the moves that we're working on, and it's a fantastic tool to add. Get it at shotcam.com with the code TheClayLab, one word, for 10% off. The average shooter improves at least 10% in their first 30 days using the camera. That's ShotCam, spelled with a K.
We drove down there one day. They were closed because it's summertime, but we met Anthony Sr. He goes, "There's a place in Delaware you can go try. It's a state place." So we went there and shot, and after that, we loved it. Then we went to M&M after a while, and we really got hooked, like everybody does.
Right. I mean, it's like I've been on the course, hundreds, if not thousands of people at this time, and nobody's ever gotten done and said, "Man, I hated that."
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Everybody it's so fun.
And then you want to conquer it, you want to get good, you want to try to get better at it. It's just,
There's no doubt there. So did your brothers, did they start shooting sporting clays with you at the same time?
Oh yeah, all three of us did. We started shooting locally, local clubs, and started getting to the ranks, started winning. And our first big tournament, I say, was 2000 at the Seminole Cup in Florida.
Oh wow, okay.
They had like 800, 900 people.
Yeah.
And the first day at the shooting, me and my brother right up at the top. And the second day was crazy. I never had pressure on me like I ever had like that in my life. I dropped 5 targets my last station, let alone like 5 or 6 before that, and I still tied for HOA.
Holy cow.
Imagine doing that today, Cody.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be impossible. I must have dropped 12 targets my last fight. I was shaking so hard I couldn't stop it.
And that,
It's funny
yeah.
that way, you know. And I tied for HOA, and my brother tied for runner-up.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. The pressure is real. There is no doubt.
It's
And
no doubt.
so that was your first major shoot. So you
Yeah,
decided, hey, we're doing pretty good locally here. I want to go test my skills,
skills, correct.
further out. And wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing. So something that I often get with students and everything, possessing the skill to be that proficient shooter is one thing. Making sure that you can control your feelings and emotions and
emotions.
everything, right, is another. Fast forward in a little bit. I mean, you're a national champion. How in 4 years' time, you said the Seminole was about 2000 and you won a
Yeah.
national championship in 2004. What did you do in those 4 years to get yourself? I'm assuming that you didn't feel the same pressure at the nationals, or maybe you did.
Yeah, the Nationals was the last day I felt it. You know, that you want to get up there and shoot. And I had to fight that big time, you know what I mean? I had to fight that urge. It's like, hurry up, I want to shoot. I had to slow myself down, you
Yeah.
know? It was incredible pressure.
And when you have that type of pressure on you, the only way that I know how to navigate that, you have to be aware of the feelings and emotions that you're
Or
feeling.
you got to embrace it. You
Yes.
got to try to embrace it,
Yep.
not fight it, because fighting it's going to just destroy you.
Yeah. Destroy you is a good way to summarize that. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
my first Nationals, the first day I just blew it, you know? The first day you shoot a 55 out of 75, you're not in it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My second one, I was the same thing. The first day, horrible. My third one, the first day, I shot a 72 out of 75.
Wow.
And I was finally in it. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, I'm in the hunt now. You know what I mean? And it was the hardest course out of the whole 4 days from that. And I just kept putting along a 70, a 71. And the last day I ran it to win it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild. Wow. So after you had the first day where, you arguably didn't shoot a competitive score that day,
Correct.
did you have a long talk with yourself? Did you roll into that next day?
It's the funny thing was I looked at the year before I won it. I looked at my scorecards. I lost over 20 targets on my first station and my last station.
Mm,
If I didn't lose those targets, I would have won a nationals my second year. I said, okay, this year going in, I am not missing my first station, and I'm not missing my last station. I missed one target my first to last station the last day of the year I won it.
holy cow. Wow.
I had a plan, kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think you have to have a plan, right? I mean,
Got it.
anything that we do in life, that means anything to us, right? We owe it. If we're going to spend our time, emotion, money, all that stuff on it, you got to have a solid plan. And,
Yeah.
I think entering a tournament, there's months and months of preparation. There's, travel, there's all that stuff. But, day of too, right? You said, look, I gotta get myself together on this first station and
Yeah.
I need to close out this last station.
That's it. Yep. And I shot well in between, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think consistency alludes to the fact that, you're doing the same things over and over, right? If we pull
Yeah.
the trigger and expect the bird to break, but yet we do something different every time, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just not fair.
See, for me, I worked 5 days a week as a carpenter, you know? So practice was real hard for me. So most of the time on weekends, I went to a tournament around here locally and just shot a lot of local tournaments to get that pressure built on you. Started learning how to win, you know? Because if you can't win the local ones, it's going to be hard to win the big ones. You know,
Yeah.
Cody?
Very true. Very
It's
true.
it's you got to be able to win local, you know?
Yeah. And the local tournaments, you're right. I mean, essentially, if you're going to shoot nationals, if we've got listeners that are going to listen to this podcast and, they've packed their schedule with big shoots and everything, in a normal practice session, you don't feel the same pressure as you do even on a local Saturday morning shoot, right? You're still feeling a different vibe from that shoot. And yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think, like we touched on earlier, you can't fight that energy that you're feeling. You just got to learn to tame it and harness it for good, right?
Yeah. Like I had a student go, I have people watching me. I says, what are you worrying about the people watching you? Nobody's watching you really. Just shoot, you know?
Yeah, I think if we all had eyes in the back of our head during a shoot off, I think we feel the eyes on us, but I think about half the people are actually paying attention, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I remember it was 20 gauge fee task for a regional at Northbrook, and I had made a shoot off on that, and they were going to shoot it off on the skeet field, and there was a bunch of shoot offs ahead of it, and I'd sat there for an hour or something, and they called my name over the speaker, to come up, and I'm putting my vest back on, and there's a lady next to me, and she goes, "Aren't you nervous shooting in front of all these people?" And
Nope.
I said, "Ma'am, if it goes right, it's just me and the target out there."
That's
And
it.
fortunately that day it was just the target and I. But
And
yeah, I mean, what do you do, or what can you tell the listeners dealing with that pressure? How do you stay focused? Right? We all feel it. We'd be lying if we didn't say we did.
how do I don't know. I just ignored, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Because after I won the nationals, 5 months later, I went to the first world championship at San Antonio. After 200 targets, I'm winning the world championship.
Wow.
I'm tied with Wendell Cherry with the world championship. Then he had the 25 bird shoot off with Digwig. And yeah, I had Digwig. My God, I had the best shooter in the world there. And that's where Digwig got me in the shoot off. He was a smarter shooter than me because it was a real hard target. I went bang, bang, missed both targets. And when he did, he doubled up on one. I was like, boy, you smart shooter. So I tied for silver. Then I had a shoot off for that, and I finished third.
Wow.
But the same year, I tied Digwig in the five stands with a high score of 96 with him. Had a shoot off with him. He beat me again. But the pressure was never there, it seemed like. I don't know. I just dealt with it, I guess. Like my brother says, Joe, you have a calm, I'm a very calm person. To get me excited is hard, or get me mad. It takes a lot to get me riled up. Like
Yeah.
I like to shoot off and stuff like that.
Yeah. That energy that I feel in that moment, in that shoot off, like, that makes you feel alive. I mean, that really, I love that, call me an adrenaline junkie, whatever you
It's
want, but I love that feeling.
that adrenaline, yeah. And 2 years later, I go to the world again. I finished in the top six, but I had to really fight to finish on the podium. I was the last man making the cut, but I beat four other guys to make the podium.
Wow.
The pressure, I just shot like crazy. It's funny. I remember Wendell Cherry says, "Joe, you're just a demon out there in that stadium." For some reason, I just shot better. The pressure.
Right.
I embraced it.
Yeah. And, I looked you up a little bit earlier. You've got over 100,000 registered targets to your name. And, I
Mhm.
just keep going back to, how did Digweed know to double barrel that bird? Because he'd been in that situation
Gracious,
before,
so many times,
right?
correct. And I never
Or somebody
was.
else did it to him, and he
Yep.
and he lost that way, right?
Yep.
But that's that time and that experience that,
hmm
you know, it really just takes it takes putting yourself in that situation over and over. So I'm with you. I don't think there's truly a secret to suppressing that nervous energy
No,
or anything like that. I think you just get
it's
not numb to it, but you just get callous to it.
well, if you're focused, like you said, on the game, the only thing you're looking and hearing is that target, looking at the target and your
Yeah.
game plan. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything, like people say they hear golf carts and all. I says, when I'm shooting in the cage, I never hear that stuff.
It's so interesting. It's been raining here for about 2 days. So I went and took my wife and kids. We went and saw the new F1 movie. And, Brad Pitt says he's sitting in the car and he goes, when things are right, it's just me and the world goes quiet and everything. It sounds kind of crazy, but Joe, I'm telling you, when I'm truly focused on that bird, I hear my trigger detach in the gun. I hear the hammer fall, and I hear the mechanism of the gun, the trigger reset, and it's not even
hmm
the explosion of the shot, but that's when I know I am really in the moment. I am totally mentally present and focused,
Yeah.
and I think that's that zone feeling that the athletes always refer to.
I had guys used to ask me, where'd you miss? And I said, I really don't remember. You know what I mean? Because I put it out of my mind. I'd have to really think hard, like, where did I miss? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Staying in the present.
So you just touched on something really big right there. You blocked out the thought of the miss so quickly in your mind that it didn't even form a memory.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope.
think about that.
They didn't even form a memory, correct?
That's wild. I used to really dwell on a miss. And, I tell my students, because I used to do it, right? Every time you dwell on that miss, it's like putting a 5-pound weight in your vest, right?
Just add some more to it.
Yes. And by the end of the round, you're going to be crushed. So,
Yeah.
I made a promise to myself a long time ago that, when the golf cart wheels or whatever mode of transportation I'm using stop at the next station, that's over. But you just took it one step farther and you said, before I shoot that second shot, it's over. Right. I mean,
Totally.
that's really incredible. Yeah. Having a short memory, it is key in this game.
It's a key in the game, correct? Even the hits, you got to forget about even the hits. You got to keep moving on.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with sporting clays, a lot of folks struggle repeating, or it's a game of repetition, right? You and I anymore, we're not playing break the bird, right? We're playing run the station, right?
Yeah,
and it can
run the
be a
station.
4-pair, 5-pair, 3-pair. But how do you, we talked a little bit up in New York. You kind of told me you don't really run a process. You're kind of a load and go kind of guy.
I try to visualize just a little before I shoot. That's about it. I look at the lines more than anything.
Okay.
And my
So
whole point, my line and my whole point and my break point.
okay.
That's what it's
So,
about.
and you do that every pair, or is that what you do
No,
before
just
the first?
before I shoot the first pair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I'm usually doing it behind the shooter I'm following, or if I lead off, I'm just visualizing it,
okay. So once you do your visualization, once you have your line and your hold point through there, and you go dead pair, are you just going back to the same thing, doing the same thing again?
Yeah, same whole point. That's it. I'm not stopping a long time thinking about it again. No.
Yeah. I think it's a fine line. I know a lot of the top shooters, boy, they use all 30 seconds in that box.
Oh yeah, they do. Yep.
Joe, I'm telling you right now, if I stood there for that long,
Oh my God.
I couldn't do it. It would not be good.
Well, the last 2 years at the National, I was shooting with the super squads, and I seen it. The guys have all the routines. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, who's to say, right? Clearly, they're on the super squad. So hey,
that's
good
their
on
game.
them, right?
God bless them. Yeah, that's it. That's their game. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
And that's something that I've touched on in earlier episodes. But I've encouraged all my students, people listening, you've got to do what works for you, right?
Correct.
And I'm sure even you shooting with your brothers, right? You guys came up the same way. You probably did different things along the way that made you successful, them successful. And guess what? Both of the recipes were right for you and them.
Oh yeah. Without my brothers, oh yeah, because we taught each other. You're behind. Yeah, you're behind. You're doing this wrong. And we learned how to shoot targets from the beginning of the trap, in the middle, all the way to the ground. We
Right.
practice everything. But we were only shooting wobble skeets, so we just shoot it early, fast, late, and that's all we would do.
Yeah. Do you think so? I do something very similar, and it's actually one of my lesson plans where I get the shooter to shoot the bird at the optimal break. Right there,
Yeah.
most of the
There you go,
birds
yeah.
have a sweet spot. Right,
Sweet
shoot
spot,
it there, and then I'll make them shoot it late. Right, and then let me see how early you can shoot it,
And you shoot
because
it, yeah.
it's one level of confidence to say, oh, I can break that target. It's another level of confidence to say, I can break that target anywhere of my choosing.
Yes. I'll break a 6-incher off the ground. Watch.
Right.
Right.
And that, to me, that takes a greater discipline and visual and self-control, right? I mean, people avoid a dropping target like the plague.
It's funny, at my local club, nobody ever did it until I got there. You know what I mean? The first night I got there, the guy set 2 tails after like 60 yards, 70 yards. I'd break him like 4 or 5 feet off the ground. Dropping. I ran a 25 straight, and he said, I didn't think you would even hit them, Joe. I said, I had them under control. And to this day, the guys go, how do you do that? I says, you got to start with the target and just keep extending your lead and keep looking at the target. And just, when you feel squeaking. But dropping targets, I say, if you're going to shoot a dropping, you got to shoot it dropping.
Yeah.
Not halfway, Got to commit.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
You got to commit.
So if you know and you're intending to shoot that target dropping, Do you only synchronize the gun with the bird in the descent? Are you following it up with the gun or just your
Um,
eyes or
I insert on it at the top.
okay.
When it hits the peak, that's when I start following it. I don't follow it up.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that rainbow. No.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of folks there's a lot of downtime, right, waiting for that bird to apex.
Correct.
And
Apex. Yeah.
a good way to combat that or fill that void of inactivity is, lower the gun, dismount the
Lower the
gun,
guns.
right?
Yep.
Get it out of the pocket of your shoulder, be active in remounting the gun. But yeah, I mean, dropping is just another direction the target can travel.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's like a crosser or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just going in a different direction.
that's right.
Speeding
But
up a little bit.
oh yeah, gravity always wins.
It's speeding up.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, but it opens a lot of doors.
Yeah.
We shot the NWTF shoot here at the Meadows recently, and man, they had a full spring trap teal with a standard target starting at 40, and then they set a 70 kind of back right of it. I watched the squad in front of me, and most of them tried the teal at the peak, which was probably peaking at 60, and then the 70 at the peak right after. And boy, there was a lot of ones and zeros
Yeah.
on that. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that standard on the climb, right? And then I'm going to shoot that 70 dropping. And it gave me time to, establish a connection with every
Yeah.
bird. And, I felt like I was in control, and watching them shoot the pairs, it looked like the pairs were controlling them.
Yeah.
And, walked out with 7 out of 8 and
Awesome.
felt pretty good about it. So,
Yeah, very good.
but, like you said, getting that control with that bird and everything. Are you a big proponent of, I don't know your methodology of shooting, but are you a sustained lead? Do you pull it like, the conversation always goes to what method, right? Do you do a
Depends on
little
the
bit of all of
target.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the target. Yes.
So,
And people go, what do you use it? And I says, well, I use it on a target.
yeah.
Depends on the target.
Yeah. And that's where not everybody, a lot of people want a one size fits all methodology. And
No.
man, I wish it were. I wish it was
No,
there.
I wish it was. I mean, I spot shot targets already. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to improvise
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, some like bang, bang, trap, true pair kind of thing.
I mean, I was shooting New York State shoot 2 weeks ago at the Make a Break. The 7 bird was a 65-yard crosser, ripping, I pulled through it. I swung through it. I touched the target, extended my lead about 15, 17 feet and shot and broke.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the way I got it. It had a straight line. It didn't have it wasn't falling much. It had a straight line. I'm cutting through it and just extended my lead and shot and broke every time.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of those birds where you have enough time after you pull the trigger to think if you hit it or didn't.
Yeah.
And then,
Oh, yeah.
and then it breaks.
Now, the 6 bird was the opposite. It was about 65 yards. It came up and it actually literally stalled there at 60 yards and needed like a 2-foot lead.
Wow.
And I broke it. I was crushing make break. I made it to the finals. I hit it every time this 6. Nobody else can do it because they didn't slow their gun down slow enough at that 2-foot lead and just boom. Everybody was overleading it.
Yeah. Well, distance, right? Everybody sees, boy, that's far.
He's lead. Yep.
But 1,200 feet per second is
It's
818 miles per hour.
It's fast.
It's really fast. So yeah, target speed, is the major contributing factor to how much we lead something, and angle and distance definitely factor in as well.
My brother says it all the time. It can't outrun your lead.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't outrun it.
Right.
You could fall behind it, but it can't outrun it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then, talking about shot string and shells and the lead and everything, it's not this curtain of shot flying out there, right? It's shot string,
Shot string, correct.
Anybody that's ever, shot a crippled duck on the water or anything, they've seen the shot string,
Yep.
right? And boy, I want that first pellet to be missing in front of that target, and the rest of them coming to hit it. Well, talking about shells, what What shells do you feel the most confident in when you have them in your gun? What's your go-to?
I like the B&P 1 ounce.
Okay.
These
Okay.
a 1 ounce shell, these maybe 1,300. But I switched to 1 ounce like 3 years ago. The ounce and an eighth was just overkill.
It's a lot of the top shooters are shooting that ounce and an eighth. And listen, I fully understand. If you ask them why, they say because they won't let you shoot ounce and a quarter. But
We did in the beginning.
really,
And feed task, ounce and a quarter,
ounce.
bro.
Good Lord.
Good Lord is right. Doug Vine was shooting make or break me one day, and he was shooting them and blew me out of the cage. Like
Ouch.
they were
Yeah.
brutal. They were brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, I'm with you. I've experimented heavily between 1 ounce, ounce and an eighth, and I do love to shoot feed task.
So do I.
But I'm not willing to get beat up to get that extra eighth ounce in there. It's just
Don't
to
need
me, I'm just not feeling it. But a lot of people say, hey,
it. I was one when I was a younger guy. I
Yeah.
took the beating. Well, we used to shoot autos a lot, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, my over under, I don't feel it, but it just no, I don't want to shoot them.
Yeah. No, I hear you there. I've got enough gray in the beard. I'm starting to play the long game too. So,
Yeah.
they're
And my
the
shoulder's still good, thank God.
That's good. That is a good thing. So you go with 1 ounce 1250. I think 1250 speed is a good all around speed. I've been fooling around with some 1150 different shells. Boy, Joe, I'd be lying if I told you I could perceive a difference in lead with a slower shell. I can't. It's
Yes.
almost imperceivable to me that 1150, 1250. I can't tell a difference on that.
No. Because we used to shoot them at the range. We'd shoot anything at the local range. And like I said, you should break with 1150 is everything. The cheaper shell.
Yep. Oh yeah. I've on a budget, right? You feed that gun whatever you can afford.
And today it's tough.
Yeah. It's definitely everything's increased in price. But knowing that you've had an evolution of guns over the years, what have you settled on now for your go-to gun?
I've been shooting for Caesar Greeny for 15 years now.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. What?
I shoot an over and under Apex.
Oh, the Apex. Very good.
Yeah.
Now, do you fix choke barrel? Is that
No,
screw choke?
I got screw and chokes, and I shoot mostly mod, iMod.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good combo.
My two favorite chokes.
Yeah.
Kill
That'll
anything.
exactly. Yeah. So with Guarini, did you start with that Apex? Have you kind of gone through a series of their guns, or?
It was my second gun.
Okay.
Yeah. And he goes, Joe, you shoot it too good. You're not getting a new one. Like when he come out with the 34s, I said, Joe, I go, I'll try him. Wes go, no, Joe, you don't fix something that's not broke. You shoot your guns fine, he says.
Yeah.
And I said, that's fine with me, Wes.
Yeah.
We're like family now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was
great.
actually shooting with him yesterday, him and his son.
Nice.
Had a shoot.
Yeah, I had not met Wes Lang, but 2 years ago he spoke at Orvis and was talking about the manufacturing of the guns and everything. And we've got a local dealer around us here, Old Hudson Plantation, and I've steered a lot of people towards the Guarini. I think dollar for dollar in that price range, boy, they're hard to beat.
And the warranty is unbelievable.
Yeah, people definitely rave about their customer service. There's no doubt.
Yep, they really try to take care of you.
Mm-hmm. So and that's been your experience throughout too, as well.
Yeah, he takes pride in his company. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he takes pride in himself and pride in his worker and all that stuff. Works real hard.
Yeah, and that's an attribute of any successful person, right? I mean, we can roll that into this game. You worked your butt off to get to the level that you're at. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, anything that you've earned, any sponsorship like that, that's something that you got a lot of pride behind, and that's awesome. You've been with them for 15.
Yeah. You know how it was after I won the Nationals, everybody was coming at me. But he talked to me. He a great guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I imagine that probably opened some doors for you and possibilities after winning a national championship.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Very cool. Now, so these days, you mentioned earlier you're retired. You were a carpenter. What do you do these days? What are you you
Well, I
coaching? Are
teach.
you shooting?
I coach a little bit and I do some shooting. I don't want to take all my retirement time up lessons all the time, but
Hmm.
I do it here and there, some local guys, and I want to expand a little bit. Me, and my brother.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you bring a lot of a lot of experience to the table, and I know that folks could definitely benefit from working with you. And where do you primarily do some of your coaching?
Well, it's locally in New Jersey. The Northeast. I'll go to New York, New Jersey,
Yeah,
Maryland.
yeah. There's some really good clubs there, and
Well, that's what was local. That was what good about my career when I was shooting. There were like six, seven, at least six, seven clubs that were around locally. I can go shoot almost every weekend. There was a tournament.
yeah, that's the
So,
key.
and that was the case.
Listening to Digweed's backstories and everything. Why is he as good as he is? Where they lived. They said that he could hit 2 and 3 50 bird shoots in a weekend and
Yep.
just hop one club to the next to the next to the next. But yeah, I wanted to go back to something you said earlier. I worked all week long. I think there's a lot of people that are running a piece of equipment or something, driving down the road, listening to this podcast, and they're itching to get out to shoot, right? Because they do have a 9 to 5 job, but going to those tournaments on the weekend, right? Put yourself in that position, and I really wanted to tell your story, Joe, because I thought it was very inspirational. That people don't think, oh, I can win nationals, right? I mean, heck, on a lesser scale, they think,
Okay.
I don't want to punch in a master class, right?
Okay. Let me bring you back to the Nationals. I worked all week, right? The day before I left, we went down to and we shot. I shot 200 rounds before the Nationals. That's how much practice I got. Okay. Today, these guys are putting 20,000 rounds to their gun.
Yep. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's
And believe it or
the
not, overshooting sometimes I think takes the drive off too. You
Oh, you're
know,
right.
that one you
Yeah.
get complacent. I got next week another tournament, next week,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's got to mean something to you, right? I mean,
that want is really big.
yeah, that hunger, that
hmm
desire, right? I mean, if to scratch that itch, I mean, yeah, I've been there. Like, I
Because
can't wait to get the gun out.
that's how funny it is with me. Like these local shoots, like yesterday, I went to a shoot. High score was a 95. I shot an 89. I should have won it,
Hmm.
but I don't put the. I don't. I just go there to have fun. I don't put the same mental pressure on me.
Right.
And then when I go to the big shoots, Northeast, and I'll shoot really well at these hard targets and stuff.
Hmm.
At the Northeast, I shot well. And I don't know if you were at the Northeast, but they were really good targets.
Yeah, I was not, but I heard they were great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean,
I
you
put more
can.
focus, like that.
Yeah, and I think that's everybody's in a different financial,
Well, new
budget,
shooters, yeah,
and you have to work within your means, and
definitely.
but just get the most out of those practice sessions. So so now if you have something coming up that you do have that desire to really do well in, I mean, do you have any sort of work up to that tournament? I mean, how
See
do you
that
go about it now?
See, the sad thing is where my location is, there ain't no clubs open most of the time. Like right now, I have one club I can go to,
Yeah.
and that's a Cedar Creek Sporting Clay because M&M's closed. I like to
Okay.
shoot some. I like to shoot some targets, but right now I've been doing it so long, Cody. Practice. I don't need a lot of practice, just a little warm up. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of becomes maintenance, like
it's
just,
maintenance, correct? You know
yeah.
how to do it. You've done it so many years.
Right.
Now, new shooters are all different. Some need warm up. Everybody wants that. People need that warm up or
Right.
practice. Like you said, everybody's different.
Taking you back to the plan that you set for that nationals, where you said, look, I got to run my first
Yeah.
stations and clean up the last. Day of, did you go and are you a proponent for warming up at the event? Are you big on that, or don't care
It's
about it, or?
it's funny because now I don't really care about that. Like, it's funny that year when I won the nationals, every other event I shot, I couldn't hit a thing. You know what I mean, Cody? I swear to God. You know how it is? I was so focused on a main event. Every other event, no, no, no. I wasn't hitting nothing. You know what I mean? I
Wow.
shot like crap. The main event after that first day, I knew I was in the hunt.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the third day, I had a 74 gun with two stations to go. And back then, they threw the targets sometimes the sun. They had two targets off the tower. I missed three targets because I couldn't see them.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Because of the sun.
It's hard to hit what you can't see.
You can't see it.
Yeah, not a lot you can do with that.
No. But at the time, I was shooting really well. You know what I mean? In those years. Like locally, I had 13 weeks I won a tournament.
Holy cow.
And guess who beats me? My brother. He takes me out of the running.
So does that make it better or worse?
No, no, we worked as a team. He was in. We're a great team. We still shoot together all the time.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you talked about not performing well in the other events. Man, I've got young students and, adult students alike, and, they get trapped up in, man, I'm going to shoot every event that they offer at, the regional or US Open. And, by the time they're done with it, they've shot 1,500
Way too much,
registered targets. And you're like, well, how did you do? Well, not good. Did you do good in any event? No, not really. Right. But I mean, I would be lying if I said I didn't fall into that. You think, oh my gosh, I got the time off of work. I'm going to shoot everything. And, but I think you really touched on something that shouldn't be glossed over is pick an event that you want to perform in, you mean something to you, you want to do well, and direct that mental energy towards that event.
Correct. Like when I go to events, if I finish pretty good in one or two events, I'm happy. It's a tough world out there today. You know what I mean?
Sharks.
I mean, they're correct. It's bad. I mean, these guys were lights out today.
For sure.
You just be happy you did pretty good.
Yep. Yeah. And a lot of it too, I feel is, the game is you against yourself, right? I mean, if you do you and shoot your best, I mean, you go shake the guy's hand that, outdid you, beat you outright. So you just do whatever you can do with it. And, like you said earlier, forget the rest.
Yeah. Don't take it too serious either.
Yeah.
These guys don't.
Yeah. The mortgage isn't riding on it, right?
No, it's changed a lot. I used to get a flat of shells for $20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. It's
a big difference.
Huge difference in that now.
And if you got a family today, it's tough. I can see it being tough if you're just a regular working guy.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And just enjoy what you got,
Yeah, that's right. And
it's a fun game.
It is. And I think don't let your performance or lack thereof, right, rob that enjoyment of the game, right? I told a youth student the other day, I said, look, if that little plastic shooter trophy is the only thing that you're deriving your enjoyment from this game from, you're going to be disappointed a lot more than you're happy, so just shoot because you love it is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah. I'm trying to tell people, if you can't control a lot of your emotions and everything else in your life, it's going to be hard to control yourself on the course. You know what I mean? You got to have a little control.
And, you can agree, disagree. I think the game itself is a great teacher of life, right? Yeah. It teaches you so much about yourself. It shows you how you're going to handle things in pressure situations, right? I mean, that's why I love it for the youth, because I think it's teaching them so much life lessons. They think they're just shooting sporting clays, but there's a lot of life lessons being taught in those.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What do you got? You going to any of the regionals or?
I might go to. I'm not sure about the Southeast Regional yet and the Nationals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the next two on my list.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and, really just wanted to tell your story. And, I think from a working man's background to a national champion, I mean, that to me that's inspiration right there. So I hope that invigorates some of you folks out there listening to, hey, just because you got a 9-to-5, don't think you can't do it either.
Yeah, I did it.
That's it. The proof, right? If somebody else has done it, you can do it too.
Yep. Thanks, Cody, so much.
Oh, you are welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Really appreciate you supporting the podcast, and I hope we're providing value in each and every episode. So we appreciate all the listeners. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platform to the Clay Lab so you don't miss an episode. Check out MadsonShootingAcademy.com or reach out to Cody at MadsonShootingAcademy@gmail.com. Consider joining as a channel member too by clicking that join button below on YouTube for early access to videos and podcasts. We'll catch you here next time on the Madsen Shooting Academy podcast.